Tariffs work, but not the way Trump thinks they do. It would appear that people have forgotten or are getting confused about what tariffs are for. The media are calling tariffs a tax, which they are not. Yes, they can appear to be a tax, but if that was their sole purpose, they would be called a tax, like income tax, import tax, VAT, and so on. Tariffs are mainly a punishment. Let's remind ourselves how they are meant to work by using England as an example. England. In England, not long ago, Made in England was something to be proud of. People around the world wanted to buy things with Made in England stamped on it. This meant quality, something well made, and in most cases, something invented or created in England. Made in England employed many people living in the country. Products that were made had a spin-off benefits as other manufacturers sprung up to support the workforce and companies manufacturing Made in England products. English people had something to be proud of, something to fight for, and something to work for. The country mainly supported itself. The country's money was spent at home, benefiting the domestic market and not overseas countries. Then a change of government brought a change in outlook. Globalization and quick profit was now desired. Domestic manufacturing started to decline as cheap overseas products began to arrive in England. England went from a country of around 90% manufacturing to a country of 10% manufacturing in less than one person's lifetime. Employment suffered, quality of employment suffered, and control over the country began to be handed over to overseas countries who were now supplying England with all the essentials it needed. The Chinese flu pandemic proved how dangerous globalization can be. When the world shut down due to the pandemic, it left England without the essentials it was relying on. These imports cost England much, and tariffs could correct this if they were applied in the right way. And why is this? So how can tariffs help the situation? In simple terms, they are designed to balance out the cheap imports and support domestic industry. Having a high lifestyle as England has, it costs more to run those services that we like, and the money to pay for this comes from taxes generated from people working and goods sold. If we buy more cheap imports and not domestically manufactured products that support our way of life, then we have less to pay for those services we have become used to. Buying all our stuff from overseas importers leads to the domestic manufacturers going out of business, job losses, and the country's money going overseas, leaving us with less to spend on our services. Tariffs should work like this. Tariffs punish people choosing to buy things made overseas or choosing to have products made overseas and not support their own country's manufacturing base. Tariffs are normally used to control the balance of imports and support domestic industry and keep the country's money at home. Tariffs are normally used to punish people choosing to employ overseas workforce to protect essential domestic industries and jobs. There is only so much money. Think of it this way. We have a pot of money to run a country. If I give money to an English builder, who gives it to an English shopkeeper, who gives it to an English farmer, who then gives it to an English builder, the money goes in a circle and ends up back in the same pot to keep helping the English workers live and maintain our lifestyle. Now, if I give some money to an English builder and the English builder gives it to an overseas shopkeeper, the money has now left the pot and is not coming back. The circle is now broken and there is less money to go round the next time I want to give some money to an English worker or pay for services. Tariffs only work if. The problem with tariffs is this: if there is not an alternative domestic product to buy, then you, the buyer, still needs to import from overseas. When applying tariffs, you need to create lower taxes for domestically produced products. This will stimulate domestic manufacturing and improve the domestic economy by helping to keep the money at home and create more jobs, giving more money to people to buy more domestic products. If you don't replace the overseas imports with domestic products, all you do is make the overseas supplier richer with tariffs. Which means Trump must have a deal with overseas importers or he is an idiot.